communication workshop. This, of course, is the session 1, and this whole communication workshop will be conducted in 3 sessions. And let me tell you, everybody wants to be the best communicator. Why? Because the communication in real life has a lot of value. Your success depends on your skill of communication, how you conduct how you transfer your ideas, your feelings, your emotions, or how you motivate people, things like that. They're very important in the real life, and therefore the communication, the skill of communication rather, is extremely important. So what we are going to do is, in the session 1, we are going to talk about what is communication and why communication is important, and generally how we should communicate. And then later on we are going to talk about the smart communication, because everybody wants to be the best communicator, and we call that the smart communicator. And we'll talk about that. And then in the 3rd session, we basically will talk about, how to break down one's presentation, whether it is formal, informal, whether it is a long one, short one. All of that would come in, we would talk about these things in these workshops. But basically, that's what one would learn in the 3rd session, as to how to make that presentation, how to do the opening, what should be the content of one's presentation, and then how to do closing, and things like that. Session 1. Now, what and why of communication? Communication is primarily about you and your world, because through communication, you open yourself to the entire world. Your opportunity is the entire world. So communication is about you and the world. What do we do when we communicate? We transfer the ideas. We educate people. We motivate people. We share our feelings, our emotions. All of that is very valuable in real life. There are 3 steps that are involved in communication. They're very simple. One is think. Do not communicate without thinking. So think. Second is prepare. And the 3rd is then you speak. Very simple. Think, prepare, and you speak. What do you think? Think about, what is it that I'm going to talk about? Is it about some information? Is it about some problem is there? What is the situation? Why am I even undertaking this communication? Okay, so think about what's the purpose? What do I want to achieve through this communication? And then, 2nd step is prepare. There simply it means, what should I be talking? And what should be the content? What should be the narrative? So we have to prepare. And how do I tell this? There is a way of telling everything. If there is a sad news, there is a way of telling. And if there is a great news, well, there is another way of telling that. So you have to be aware of what's the purpose and what do you want to achieve, what do you want to communicate. And the 3rd thing is, when you have done the thinking and the preparation, well, now you're ready to speak. And so go ahead and speak. Be very friendly, connect with the audience, and be respectful, be open, speak from the heart. These are the things you do. So these are the 3 steps of communication. Another thing is, in the communication, listening is very important. In fact, listening is as important as talking, because when you listen, what happens? You get the information from other people. So you have to be observant of what their facial expressions are, what their feelings are, what's going on, what's the situation, what are the circumstances. Be aware, be observant, and listen. Be respectful. So when you listen, you gather a lot of information. And that information is again helpful to you when you want to communicate back with the same people. Okay? So listening is very important. So what did we do in this first session? We basically talked about, why communication is so important, that it is the greatest opportunity and the greatest skill, and what are the 3 steps that we should consider when we want to transfer an idea or a thought, and at the same time we must be a good listener. So this is what we covered in the session 1.